What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video? Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Today is Monday, August 22nd. It's day 48 inside the Big Brother house. And it was a long and boring day on the live feeds, but we do have the episode to kind of go over. So let's start off with that. The episode picked up with the end of the HOH competition, Michael being the winner, Terrance being second place, so he becomes an HOH by default. We kind of went over how by Michael choosing who he chose to go in the order they did during the HOH competition, he made it so that Jasmine or Terrance would automatically be an HOH for the week. His thought process with that, though, was if him and Turner didn't win their matchups, then, well, the leftovers wouldn't have any HOH this week. So it made more sense to just kind of make sure that guaranteed one of the HOHs be theirs. I guess, yeah, that's the better risk management side of it, but I don't know, maybe it would have been better to, go for the gutso and try and make sure that you secured both of them. Have faith that Turner could beat Terrance or Jasmine, which I think he would have in that competition. And if that would have happened, this week would have been completely different. But that's, completely side story to everything else that went on. After that, we had to pick the teams. Michael had the first pick. He chose Jasmine. Terrance had the second pick. He chose Turner. Michael then went for his ride or die Brittany. After that, Terrance picked up Alyssa. Michael then picked Taylor. Terrance went for Joseph. Michael went for Monte. Then Kyle went for Kyle joined Terrance's team since he was the last one to be picked. It seemed like going into both sides, there were obvious targets, right? For the Rochella, it would be Jasmine, possibly with a little Monte action, maybe if things turn out the right way, but they were going to see. And then for the Dyre Fest, it was all about Turner, it was all about Kyle and Joseph originally, until Kyle spilled the beans about the leftovers. We kind of saw that go down on the episode. And it's a thing where now, even looking back on it, he didn't even need to do this, right? Because if he doesn't spill, Terrance wins the veto and was going to put up Joseph anyway, because Kyle and Alyssa would have been on the block. He would have taken down Alyssa and put Joseph up. So if he just would have went with the plan, he wouldn't have had to throw the leftovers into the bus, and he probably would be in a little bit better of a situation going forward, but we'll break that down after we get into things. So he tells Terrance, he tells Alyssa pretty much everything. He lies about some of the stuff. They didn't include the whole conversation on there, but he did lie and not tell Terrance that Alyssa was the one who spilled about old school to him. He blamed Ameerah for giving them that information, and that's how they started the leftovers. Joseph and Turner were kind of thrown under the bus here because they didn't then back it up when they talked to Terrance about it. So that led for Terrance to nominate Joseph and Turner, with Joseph being his main target this week. So that was pretty much how everything kind of went. We did see how they were living in the backyard with the sleeping bags. Terrance has a little cot air mattress thing that's a little bit more comfortable because he's HOH. They have a very limited kitchen where they can do some stuff. The DR is different. They're doing it up in green screens up on the balcony. I have seen a lot of people wondering how they were doing the DR sessions. Were they doing it during the other team, the other people inside doing their veto comp, or what the deal was? This was something I think I mentioned in my first update, but there's a DR that they had kind of did a makeshift one up on the balcony. Because I believe it was the very first night I remember them saying Joseph, please go to the diary room on the balcony. So this one is actually upstairs on that balcony there. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the episode. Not too much really went down in it. And then as far as the feeds went, the backyard has been down since yesterday. So we have not seen what's been going on in the backyard. We have no clue what's really going on back there. For all we know, Kyle and Alyssa have broke up 6 times. They've gotten back together 7. We have no clue what the status is. Maybe Kyle has completely flipped the game around now into Turner. Maybe Joseph has convinced Terrance that Kyle needs to go. Who knows? We have no clue. We did get like a couple little accidental peeks that they showed us, but it seems like they're just playing music constantly in the backyard to prevent the wall yellers from interfering with the game. We have no clue what the house guests heard from the wall yellers. We heard nothing about any of that fallout. We have known nothing that's going on in the backyard. So hopefully things are going well. I don't have a good feeling about it, but that's kind of where things stand. I also, maybe it's just me, but I think I had a way where they could prevent the wall yellers, but also not have to have the feeds off. And it would really fit in with the theme as well. So they're playing music, and that's one of the big reasons why they can't show us the live feeds, is because it's probably copyright music that they can't play, or maybe the music's too loud and it's interfering with the audio, so they don't want it coming over the audio, and then it's dealing with all kinds of different stuff, right? Well, there is a few different songs that Big Brother definitely has the rights to use on the live feeds, one of which still pains me to this day. But anyone who watched the Celebrity Big Brother Season 3 live feeds, especially when we waited all day for them to come on the first day and they never came, you'll know the song. You thought you're playing with fire. You're just playing with fire. Whatever the hell that song was. Just play that over and over, because that's going to be torturous for them in the backyard, right? And it goes along with the Dyre Fest. It would be a perfect compromise there. You stop the wall yellers, you let us still watch the feeds. I think this is a win-win-win. But maybe that's too much of a mental torture for them to go through. As for inside the house, not much really happened in there either. They were all napping all day, kind of chilling. They had a little party. They gave them some party supplies and some booze, but that really just kind of put them to sleep earlier anyway. I'm assuming Jasmine pretended it was her, 15th birthday day of the week, 30 more thousand days to go in her birthday decade, whatever she's doing now at this point. But they just, they chilled, kind of played some games, and not really much game talk was going on. We did get a nice little strategy kind of talk from Michael to the cams, where he was like, look, Brittany's my number 1. Earlier in the game, I wasn't sure if there were times where I would have to use her and vote her out to save my game. When I chose her for the bestie, I knew that Ameerah wanted to get her out so it would protect me, but also I thought maybe I could keep her safe by being her bestie, so I did that. But she's my number 1. I want to take her to the final 2, like 100%. He also loves Taylor. He would love to take Taylor to the final 3. Because his main goal is to just take people that he not only likes, but he can beat. And then he says, too, hey, in a perfect world, I'd love to take Terrance to a final 3. Because, you're probably going to beat him. This is without him knowing that not only is he, an HOH that he lost on, but he also won veto. So maybe that changes his mind when he goes, wait a second, Terrance won a competition? He legitimately won a competition that I didn't beat him in? But I think he still feels very confident in himself that he's going to be able to win that final 3 HOH and be able to secure whether he goes or not. Because he does also think there's a chance that if they went final 3 with Taylor, that she would take Brittany over him. But again, he feels like he has a really good shot at winning that final 3 HOH rather than anything else. He then said he doesn't know if people are screaming at him to do it, but taking out Monte might not be the best call. He was going to finish that sentence, but he ended up taking off to the DR. Who knows? They're probably just like, oh, there's a juicy stuff. Let's get him in the DR session instead of giving it to us on the live feeds, because we haven't had anything all day. and you take away the one good thing that we were getting. It was like, oh, come on. But yeah, that pretty much covers everything that's been going on with the episode, on the feeds, stuff like that. But in the meantime, what I thought might be interesting, because right now there's a lot of debate on like what kind of moves really are being made this week, where are things going to stand looking forward to next week. So just on the information we have now, I believe it's going to be Jasmine, it's going to be Joseph. We're evicted on Thursday. So let's just kind of take a little preemptive look ahead to what things might look like next week when the house comes back together. Here is kind of an updated alliance chart that would be post the house split, everybody coming back together, and where everything would stand. It pains me to already see Joseph grayed out in the bottom corner there as part of the jury, but that would be where we are with the jury. It would be Jasmine, Joseph, and Indy from last week, who would have been evicted. And I'll tell you, for anybody who's in the leftovers, somebody like a Monte, somebody like a Taylor, this is really good. Joseph being in the jury for you is going to be able to talk you up, like pump your game up. Let's say Turner gets the end. I feel like Joseph would also pump him up a lot, saying, oh, how great his game was. So having somebody like that in the jury early on can be a very valuable thing to you when you get to the late game. But as far as inside the house, how things look, I'm using the convenience store still because I just think that is a perfect name for what it is. It's an alliance based off convenience. Their loyalties are up for the grabs. It's just about doing what's convenient for you. On that side, you would have Terrance, Kyle, and Alyssa. Turner, I feel like, is right in the middle there of what the former leftovers were. And then you have the 4 from the other side over there as well. Now, Michael and Brittany are also more towards the middle of that as well, right? Because they're kind of positioning themselves in that spot where, hey, who are the biggest targets in the house coming back together? It's going to be Monte and it's going to be Kyle. And if the two of them go after each other, that is perfect for everybody who's kind of in the middle there. We're talking about literally the sandwich of this, right? I think Turner might be in the best spot right in the middle where I don't think anyone's going to be targeting him. They're going to want him as their number. They're going to want him as their ally, somebody to use in this war that they're about to get into. Alyssa, maybe actually if I went back and actually thought about this again, I probably would switch Terrance and Alyssa because she's going to be connected more to Kyle and they're going to go up on the block together. But once Kyle leaves, I think that leaves Alyssa as kind of like a floaty kind of number there that people might want to look to actually scoop up, whether it's a Taylor and she says, hey, listen, like, let's work together and let's get these guys out, right? Or maybe it's Michael and Brittany who say, hey, you're alone. Let's kind of get you, involved in what we've got. Even I think she would float over to more siding with Turner than anybody else that would be left in the game, because they have had a good friendship since the very, very beginning of this game. So hopefully this gives a little bit better of an idea of like where things could go from here. And it all really depends on who wins HOH. Obviously, Terrance can't win HOH next week. Michael can't win HOH next week. So you still have a lot going against Kyle and Alyssa. And I have a very strong feeling if I was Turner, I would not want this HOH. That would be the last thing you would want right now is to win HOH, because you don't want to have to show your cards, right? Let them fight. Same thing with Brittany. If I'm Brittany, I don't want to win this HOH. You want to let Kyle go after Monte. You want to let Monte go after Kyle. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Who ends up winning this next HOH is so crucial, because that can then kind of split the house more down the middle on figuring out who's going to be ending up where. There are some 3-person deals that could end up forming, right? You've got kind of the Kyle, Alyssa, Turner situation, and I don't know how legit that is. He might be more over with the convenience store, but everything in my gut kind of tells me from what I've heard Turner say in the house, where he was always so adamant about going with 7 strong and getting to the end with the 7, he would be more likely to lean with more of who was left of that alliance than just go with Kyle, who is now trying to go against that alliance. We have heard a couple conversations where him and Kyle and Alyssa were kind of talking, and we're like, we all gotta band together once this is all done, because whatever happens, those four in there, they're gonna be real tight. And Turner went just shit, yeah, man, that's fire, that dope, right? But that's always how he does things, right? That's always how he kind of talks to people when he's just kind of trying to tell them what's going on. When he's like into it, he's animated, he's all about it, and I don't know, I'm just getting the vibe that he's not feeling good about this, and when things come together, I have a feeling he would lean more towards the leftover side. But he is in a very critical spot, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out going forward. But other than that, guys, I think that pretty much covers everything that was really been going on this week, and all through this weekend. It really sucks that we haven't been able to get as much of the live feeds as possible. But hey, I got to give Big Brother credit for the season that we have had so far. I think the twist, while it has some flaws, is something that I would really like to see going forward, just changed up a little bit. So there's a lot of good that came from this. Obviously, it's got kinks that need to be worked out, but I'm happy that they did something like this to switch things up and change things up, because this is also, even though it's a little boring right now just because of the way the feeds are having to be handled with wall yellers and people ruining our fun, and it's a whole problem, right? But overall, I think I really like this twist and how it's designed. I wish it was more of a random draw, or at the very least, I wish that someone had to win that second HOH so that they had the power to do it. Because really, Terrance was handed the HOH this week, and he didn't actually win it. He won it by losing, if that makes any sense. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about everything that's going on. Obviously, I'm sure many of you are missing the outside live feeds, and you probably have a lot of thoughts on everything that's going on. Let me know in those comments down below. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you made it all the way through this video and my ramblings, smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, you never miss a stream, and I will see you next time.